Hello.
Good morning.
How is everybody on this lovely Sunday morning? It's a little
chilly here in
chilly
Nashville.
here. Yeah, we're staying at some friends this week, and just wrapped up our road trip, our fall foliage trip
Which was
slash
awesome.
beach, I guess, since we went
Yeah.
to Tybee. So we did the Blue Ridge, and then Asheville, and then Savannah. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was.
A lot of fun. Good morning, Mary Ellen. How are you?
Good morning.
Good to see you on here. So yeah, we are just trying to get settled in and hopefully start getting some good content out.
Yeah, getting it all together, getting kind of caught up on some work and
Trying to. So Mary Ellen, what's the weather like there with you? Is it chilly? And I know you're in Connecticut. I don't remember what part of Connecticut you're in.
we might have a little bit of a delay.
Yeah, I think there's a delay. A little chilly here too. Yeah. It's it was crazy because when we were in Asheville and doing the Blue Ridge, I was worried about how cold it was going to be. 45 and cloudy. I think it's probably mid 50s here, but it's cloudy. It's cloudy and overcast here as well. But yeah, on our trip, I was worried about how cold it was going to be in the mountains and didn't think about the fact that, it was going to be warm in Savannah. So
we had no shorts.
We took no shorts. So we were burning up.
We did have short sleeve. That was good.
Yeah. But I think we did get up to like 82, 83. Of course, humid, so it got a little uncomfortable there for a little while. Good morning, Laura.
Good morning.
Minnesota is a lovely cloudy 23.
Nice.
Wow.
It's a little warmer here.
A little warmer
as
here.
she said.
Well, now you guys already got snow though, didn't you? Laura, I think you did the other day.
23, it's possible.
Yeah, and I don't know where she lives in comparison to like Nick P, but I know that he's wherever he is, they already had snow.
Yeah.
You could have gone old school and just cut your jeans off.
Or some jorts.
Yeah. Yeah, we could have, but yeah, we didn't do that one. Leaves are really falling. We're just past peak. Yeah. Laura says they do have snow, not much yet.
Yeah. Oh, what is not much for you though?
Yeah. It's going to be different. Of course, in Indy we get snow, but here in Nashville, we're like I said, I don't know if you were here when we said it, but we are staying at some of our friends who probably wish we weren't friends anymore because we're here so much. We just let ourselves into their house.
They're not commenting.
Yeah, they're not. They're not talking right now. Nick got much more snow than we did. I'm in the band that only got about 2 to 3 inches. So, what's funny is here in Nashville, 2 to 3 inches of snow would shut everything down.
Shut it down.
It totally would.
And nothing would be left on the shelves.
So if you guys don't know, I know Mary Ellen, you do. If because you were, I think you said you lived in Atlanta. Anyway, in the South, when they start calling for snow, the bread aisle and the egg aisle and the milk aisle literally just get wiped out, and people don't go anywhere. So when we first moved to Indy,
and they close schools.
Yeah, they close schools.
Even if they just call for it, they close schools.
They're not as bad now as they used to be, but yeah, they definitely when we were younger. So the weather pattern, comes east from the west, from Memphis, and so look at there. Patricia Craighead, good morning. You guys are always welcome. Thank you. So that's one of our friends that we're staying with here. So they're our very, very dear friends, and we've spent a lot of time at their house.
We don't know what we do without them.
No, we don't. But yeah, and so anyway, when I was growing up, if it was snowing in Memphis, it would get all across the school that we were going to close early because Nashville did not want to have kids stuck in the snow. Yeah. That did happen one year actually, where buses couldn't get anywhere and they had to, keep a bunch of kids overnight in a cafeteria at
Yeah.
school and feed them and everything. So,
But the one thing about Nashville, though, they get a lot of ice.
yes.
So that's a little different than snow. So I understand that, but they get a lot more ice.
We do just where we are, we're kind of on that band, and yeah, ice is not, you can't really do much with that.
Ice.
Yeah. So Mary Ellen says 2 to 3 inches in the South makes a mess. 2 to 3 inches in Minnesota is just, I'm going to have to wear a jacket. Yeah, exactly. So the first winter we were in Indy and it snowed, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches. And I'm like, okay, well, so like, do we need to go here? Is this closed? Are they even going to be open today? And of course, we went out and it's just like a normal day up there. And
they might be driving just a little slower, but other than that.
Yeah, but I was just like, oh my gosh, it's like nothing. And it just doesn't work that way in the South. So
good morning, Alan.
Yeah, good morning, Alan. Definitely enjoyed walking around Savannah. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. We're actually maybe considering doing that Thursday night here in Nashville.
Yep.
It depends. I've got a little procedure I've got to have on Thursday morning. So it depends on how I'm feeling after that, but we may do that. Mary Ellen says, my town in Connecticut has more equipment for snow removal than, oh yeah, absolutely. The South just doesn't, that's just not where we put our money. Ice is brutal. No one can drive on that. Yeah. Even in Minnesota, we stay home if it's ice. That's just deadly and nothing you can do about it. Oh yeah, absolutely. I want to say it was the year before we moved. We had horrible ice storms here in Nashville, and then another one coming, and everybody had the issue with ice dams, which is basically where the ice builds up in the gutters and then starts, getting under the shingles and so forth. Yeah. And we had a deck, and Trace got out there to clear the deck because, of course, the dogs still needed to go out and everything. And I mean, she literally, it was shovels, and
I took pictures of it.
Yeah. And ice was that thick, and that was round one.
Yeah.
I mean, even my car, I had to basically chisel the ice off of it to get out. So anyway. Hey, Worry Ward Adventures, how are you?
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. So it kind of messed us up this morning because it's actually 9 here in Nashville because they're on Central Time. And so we were kind of a little bit off on getting everything ready. But anyway, we wanted to talk just a little bit this morning about some travel news. Unfortunately, right now, the majority of it is around COVID. It's just what's going on, But so the one thing I got is that Southwest announced this week that they will be filling the middle seats. I don't think that starts till January. I think that's right.
I think that's right.
But I guess what they're going to do is you're going to get an email notification if your flight is looking to be full, meaning that the middle seat will likely have somebody in it, and they're going to allow you to change it if you want to. So you do still have that option. I know Delta has been kind of mocking other airlines for opening those seats back up early. So Delta's still kind of holding on to not doing it. And I don't know, you've got some, what'd you find out?
Yeah, I mean, well, and the other
it might be December, Mary Ellen. It might be.
Yeah, I think it is December from what I read. It seems like everything seems to be focused around December right now, around the holidays, which, and I know you said you kind of read something different than what I did.
Yeah.
But I read where they said that, the hotel searches and airline searches are down, that during the holiday season, flights are going to be much cheaper than what they were this time last year, just because people aren't flying as much because of the pandemic.
Yeah. And so I read, I'm going to, excuse me for a minute. Let me pull out my phone, because what I read, travel forecast I had here was they do expect an uptick in travel, I guess, from where we are right now, which makes sense. But it says 39% say they plan to travel during the holidays this year, and 21% who normally travel during the holidays say they aren't going to. But of that 39%, 75% of them say they will travel for the Christmas or the December holidays.
So I guess it's just how you
Yeah.
look
How
at
you
it.
look
I
at it.
mean,
Here's what I found interesting and probably very telling. And, I don't know. Maybe I've got a little bit of traveler's guilt over this. I don't know. I read that for September or like August, September, that travel, like road trips, was only down 15% from last year, which I can see that because we saw, the places we went,
right.
although, we did mostly outdoor stuff, they were getting crowded. And that's the reason we've decided not to do Disney because, when we planned on it, it was still pretty open and looked pretty safe, but
Yeah,
it
and they
seems
say
to be
they're
getting more
only
crowded.
25%
Capacity, but we think they're more.
Yeah.
But yeah, to only have a 15% decline,
That's not a lot.
that's not, considering where we are. And so now after I read that, I was like, oh, I don't know if we've got some traveler's guilt going on or not, but we are at this point going to be home after this Nashville trip. We're not going anywhere else until the end of January. If we can even go then. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of interesting. So Mary Ellen said, she's talking about the seats, she thought it was December for the holidays. And Laura says, don't you think that other airlines are just waiting for someone to be the first to open the seat, see how it goes, and hoping to do it for themselves? And then Mary Ellen said American opened them up a while ago. Yeah,
it's just like a trickle down effect.
It is.
They wait and see what others are going to do, and then because maybe they don't want to be the first to open their seats and something go wrong.
Yeah. Worry Wart says we are part of the 21% too worried at this point. Yeah, we obviously did. I can't tell you how much hand sanitizer we went through, and we each had like 3 or 4 masks we were rotating through on this trip, and obviously wipes and Lysol. We went through so many cans of Lysol, just spraying every room down and so forth. But it's definitely scary. And what's interesting, one of the most interesting comments I got, I don't know if anybody else. Oh, Mo's at the Giants Causeway.
Well, good for you.
Good for you, Mo. I'm glad you're getting out. And I don't know what the weather's like there, but I imagine it's got to be a little bit chilly and certainly windy. At least it was crazy windy when we were there.
Yeah.
But what a beautiful, beautiful part of Ireland that is.
Yeah.
So
we loved it.
Yeah, we loved it. I wasn't sure I was going to make it back up that hill because the shuttle wasn't running that day. It took me a minute, but it was a lot of fun. So for those of you who don't know, Mo is in Northern Ireland. That's where he lives. So he posts a lot of great pictures from his adventures up there. Anyway, what was I getting ready to talk about?
You said something about a comment.
Oh, so if any of you guys watch Girl Traveler, I don't know if you do or not, Christine. So she is from Hawaii. So that's where she lives. And she saw the live stream from Thursday night in Savannah. And so from our perspective, from everywhere we've been, we felt like both Asheville and Savannah did a really, really good job for people masking up.
Even outside.
Sure, there were people who weren't, but the majority were, and that's so much better than other places we've seen. And then she made the comment of she was surprised how many people weren't masked up. And I thought, wow, that's interesting because to us, it looked like they were doing a fantastic job. But, Hawaii's been extremely strict on their lockdowns and quarantines and travel restrictions and all that. So to her, it looked crazy. And I thought, man, I don't know what she would think if she saw some of these other places.
Yeah. And now that Hawaii's I mean, I think they said they expected to get probably like 2,000 to 3,000 travelers every day.
Yeah, I even read a higher number than that. So, Mo says it's really windy and freezing cold. Came prepared though. Nice. Yeah, Laura's telling Mo she has travel envy. Laura says I do watch her when she was traveling. I watch her all the time. Yeah. So she's she's struggling definitely being at home all this time. But I just thought that was very, very telling.
Yep.
So something else we found out, and some of you guys may know this, and other travelers that we follow that we're friends with, Chasing a Plate, they do food travel, and we interviewed them on our, back when quarantine first started. Anyway, I was talking to Sheena the other day. We were messaging, and some places, because New Zealand is where they're from, so that's where they are right now. They've done a fantastic job of keeping everything locked down, and their cases are so low. So they're allowed to travel different places. But they said, the problem is if they traveled somewhere and then for whatever reason things changed and borders started shutting down and they had to come back home, not only would they have to quarantine for 14 days, which for them is not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
There's Trish on the as one of our friends going out. Anyway, quarantining was not that big of a deal, but they had to quarantine in a government facility and pay something like $3,000 a person to quarantine. So obviously the government is making sure that people are decentivized to go travel.
Yeah, we were trying to talk them into meeting us in Mexico.
Yeah, but I mean, they said
were like,
if they had to go home, they'd have to pay $6,000 to quarantine for 2 weeks. I mean, wow.
Yeah, that's a little steep.
That's definitely.
I mean,
steep.
I understand they want to keep people safe, and they don't want it, and their numbers are good. But wow, I can't imagine. I mean, I don't blame them.
No. So what else did you have though, news-wise?
Well, seeing Mo in Ireland, I did see that actually Ireland is the first country to go to a lockdown, back into a lockdown, where they said
Republic of Ireland.
Yeah. Where they said that, nobody can travel. Everybody basically has to stay home. They are keeping schools open, but nobody can travel further than 3 miles within their home, and unless you're an essential worker.
Mm-hmm.
So, because they said their cases are up like 75%.
Yep.
So,
and I think bars and restaurants can only be open for takeout only, which, I guess makes me a little bit glad that we didn't do that, because we were seriously considering that at one point.
Yep. And I think eventually through this fall, winter,
we're going to see a lot more of that.
Yeah,
absolutely. So, and that's Hawaii. We were talking about Hawaii a minute ago. That's kind of was my concern, because we considered Hawaii as well. I mean, we've considered pretty much everything that was a possibility. But, Hawaii's been really, really strict, and even at some points had the intra-island quarantines and no travel. And so our thing is, believe it or not, Hawaii's somewhere that neither one of us have been.
Exactly. It's on our bucket list.
But our thing is, if we're going to fly 5 hours, right, which really would be longer than that, but from the West Coast, it's just kind of like going to Europe. We like to go more than one place, and we would want to island hop. My fear was we'd get over there and get stuck on one island. Not that would be the worst place in the world, right. But that we wouldn't be able to explore the other one. So, I just, we decided that wasn't the thing to do.
Yeah.
Mary Ellen said that's incentive to keep people home. Yeah. Mary Ellen says she's working on her winter basic shopping list now, even more than I usually buy. Yeah, exactly. Italy just implemented stricter lockdowns starting today.
Yeah, they're getting bad over there again too.
Yeah, they all are. Now what's interesting, so on the opposite end of that, I saw where Costa Rica you can now travel to with no I don't know if you even have to have a test to go
there's
there.
no test and there's no quarantine, I think.
Yeah.
So you can just go there.
So it's interesting. I do suspect that, over the next few months, as at least in the northern hemisphere, as it gets colder, we will see more of that. Canada is, of course,
another 30 days,
which it'll be way more than 30 days.
Yeah.
I suspect
It'll be 2021.
Oh, easy.
Easy.
Yeah. It'll be probably not till summer. I'm suspecting not till summer of 2021. And then I know the UK started doing the tiers. I think that started last week. And so, sorry, I just want to make sure we kind of get through all these. What did you have anything else you found?
I think that was it. I mean, other than, I was going to say something about Canada, extending theirs for another 30 days. But, I think the only, if there is anything remotely good about all this, is the fact that now everybody has an idea of what they need to do. So it's not, just kind of thrown at everybody and everybody's just trying to do whatever. And
you mean as far as learning about how to control?
And the lockdowns and the, hopefully nobody will, make a run on toilet paper.
Yeah. There's Sherry. Good morning, girls. Glad to have you guys here. Finally got this to work. And Sherry, I'm so glad.
Yes,
Yay.
She's been struggling with that. So
that's our other friend here that we're staying with. So we have a tendency to kind of take over their home when we when we get here. But that's okay. They have a dog who's actually 13 today. And we love her, and we get to come dog sit quite a bit.
Yeah, so say happy birthday to Sadie.
So Sadie is 13 today.
Yes.
So we have a baby to take care of here too, because y'all know we have to have our four-leggeds with us. Some good news though. A couple of good news things. United has said it's going to drop its change fees forever. That's at least what I read. Let me just make sure and read this. United is dropping ticket change fees permanently in the U.S. So, obviously a lot of places waived those fees during the pandemic. So that's a good thing. I guess that came out of this. The other thing that I find interesting is, it just went away. There we go. If any of you guys have ever flown Spirit, which we've never flown Spirit, although we've heard not great stories about it, but I know they're a budget flight, a budget airline. They are actually going to make their middle seats an inch wider than they currently are, because who likes being scrunched up in the middle seat to begin with? So I guess that'll be a little bit of an advantage. An inch doesn't sound like that much, but as a larger person, I can tell you that an inch of the seat can make a very big difference.
Yeah.
So, so that's kind of interesting.
Well,
that they're doing that in the middle of all this, and
hopefully some other airlines can start doing some things.
I think they may do that. I also saw, what was the other thing? Oh. So this was another kind of interesting tidbit, and we talked about, I think the last time we did the Sunday snippet, we talked about the flight to nowhere and how people paid to basically just fly.
Wasn't that in Australia?
Yeah, it was, I think.
Yeah.
So Singapore Airlines, which is a very nice airlines, and if you happen to fly in their premium class, is like some of the best in the world. Anyway, they have 2 planes that they basically converted into like pop-up restaurants, and people could make reservations and go sit in the plane seats, eat a meal, and watch movies on the the seat back entertainment screen. And they did it. I think they sold out. Wow. I don't know that I'm missing traveling that much. What about you guys? I mean,
I don't mind flying, obviously, but I just can't see. I'd much rather get in the car right now and drive somewhere than sit on a plane.
Now, again, they are, particularly from their upper class seats. Supposedly their meals are out of this world, and their service is just impeccable. But
maybe it's just people don't really miss it that much. It's an experience. It's a
well,
different experience. So
I guess.
and maybe people that don't like to fly.
True, and that may make them more comfortable.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I don't know.
There might be definitely some good out of that.
Yeah. And they said the food is pretty amazing. It's better than the one they served during the flight. So it says some settled in for a nap while waiting for the meals to be served. They paid $236 to be served a 6-course meal in business class.
Well, if it was a good meal,
like a gourmet,
yeah,
a
6-course meal.
Yeah.
You would pay that at a really nice restaurant.
Yeah, at a high end, very high end. Yeah.
It might have been worth it if it was that good.
Yeah. So Laura says, I love flying, but can't justify the money to do something like that. If it was the same price as a normal dinner, maybe. Right. And, it's not going to be. But anyway. Well, I guess it would be, but, yeah. If you were going to do going to do that kind of gourmet meal.
Yeah.
And I really think that's it. There's restrictions coming and going. I know that there was the UK has had a lot of changes. If you guys will ever watch the Travel Beans, Alex and Emma, I know they were in Italy and had more planned, but the UK said if you were coming from Italy, there was going to be a lockdown and they didn't want to get stuck on the lockdown.
Yeah.
So, hey, Derek.
Hello.
How are you? How are things across the pond there? What's the weather like over there where you guys are? And you are, I think, Alyssa said you guys were going to the Cotswolds today. So I don't know if you're already there or not. It's our favorite part.
Yeah.
One of our favorite.
One of our favorite.
Musings at midlife. My normal is different from their normal. Yeah, right. Right.
Have you all ever been to Iceland?
We went twice last year. So
what's stop through?
What's what's interesting, Worry Ward, is if you don't know, we were in the beginning of a 12-week trip to see the Northern Lights when everything hit. So we flew Iceland Air to get the stopover coming back. So we flew from Boston to Reykjavik and then connected on to Dublin. And we did part of Ireland, Northern Ireland, and had just landed in Scotland when all this hit. And because from there we were going up to Norway and Finland. And then Iceland, we were going to be in Iceland for a week in April. And obviously that didn't happen. We got to Scotland and had to come home. So Iceland is definitely high on our list. And I would love your recommendations because we were going to do a, self-drive of the ring road if it was safe. I know April can be kind of iffy, but any places to stay, any information like that you have, Worry Ward. Yes. If you're on Instagram, send it to us on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Just, we love information on that. Mr. Means to Travel, heading to Cotswolds next week. Nice. So I bet it is beautiful, but probably a little chilly.
Yeah.
Derek Mo was on here. I don't know if he still is or not because he says signal was bad, but he is at Giants Causeway today. So, a little jealous of that one.
Even though he said it was very windy and cold.
Very windy and cold.
He was
prepared. So what a gorgeous part of the world, right?
I'm glad we at least got to see that.
Oh yeah. We did make that one before everything shut down. So and I think we don't really have much more in, news. Again, it's just, it's constant changings of restrictions, what's open, what's not. I think Ireland's a big one. Here's one that's interesting. I read, and I'm probably going to get this wrong because I didn't leave the article up, but I guess people who live in Israel could not go to Dubai or most other countries there because the passport wasn't recognized. And I guess the UAE has just signed some treaty so that they will allow those people now to be able to go into the UAE, which is a big deal for the Middle East. You know, that it's a lot of obviously religious based, I don't know, conflict may not be the right word, but disagreements. So that's part of the reason that that's been like that. So that is pretty historic. You know, I don't know how many of our folks that would affect, but it's still, I thought it was pretty cool. You know, maybe the world is starting to have a little more acceptance. So that's a good thing.
Hopefully. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning, Tony. How are you? Hotel Boudier and the Black Church are must. We're gonna put that on our list. Word. I have to look them up. Mr. Means, Giant's Causeway on the bucket list. Not sure Northern Ireland is in the cards this trip. Yeah. You know, I guess it all depends on obviously your schedule, but then you know what happens over there, because I know that lockdowns and tier levels and all those things are constantly changing.
Unfortunately, I think it's just going to get worse.
Yep. So Derek, before you got on, we were talking about how Ireland was one of the places that we wanted to, we had looked at going right now, as you guys are in the UK, and ultimately we decided not to, and I guess I'm glad. And that's Tracey's doing. So thank you for that, because her whole thing was, what if we get over there and it all changes? And Ireland definitely seems to be making some significant changes in lockdown rules again. So I would not be happy to have gone over there, quarantined for 2 weeks, thinking, okay, we're free to travel. And then I understand, I still wouldn't have been happy.
Yeah.
So,
and nobody wants her to be unhappy.
Oh, come on. It's just nice seeing you guys, even for a short while. It's like getting out of the house without having to get out of my jammies. Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
Just grab your coffee and sit down in your jammies and
Northern Ireland is one of the highest COVID rates in Europe and definitely in the UK. Okay, so I didn't know what those rates were, but you're obviously getting a lot more
information
or concentrated information, probably, Derek, right now. Hey, Aaron, how are you?
Good morning.
Good to see you. Do we have a daily budget? So, Aaron, are you talking to us about our daily budget when we travel in Europe?
We're not really budget travelers per se. I mean, we like good deals.
Yeah. So, I mean, Aaron, we really don't. I mean, what we kind of have. So I'll try and condense this answer. We have a separate account that we put money in for travel, and it's actually a Charles Schwab checking account that allows you free ATM withdrawals anywhere in the world. So we move our travel funds for whatever trip to that account before we go. So when we withdraw money, it's always out of that account. But we also do use a lot of points and miles from our credit cards. So, you know, we'll have a rough idea of the whole trip. We obviously are going to know what our flights cost and our hotels cost before we go. But as
far as daily,
we don't really. We just kind of have an overall thing. We don't, we're kind of. I think we're kind of moderate with occasional splurges. We've definitely done luxury stuff, and we do fly business class
most of the time.
A lot of times. But as far as hotels go, we usually stay just pretty moderate. I mean, certainly we've never stayed in hostels. Not that there's anything in the world wrong with that. That's just not something we've ever done. It's not something we generally look at.
I guess as far as like a daily, I mean, we want to enjoy ourselves.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as we can. And that's the whole reason why we decided and we planned for traveling, because, we don't have to go out and have fancy meals every day or do, extreme things and pay tons of money. I mean, it's just, but if there's something out there that we want to do.
Yeah. And the other thing is, obviously, when you're traveling somewhere else, I mean, the exchange rate is constantly fluctuating. So, what we will typically do is probably most places will do, like, let's say in London, we'll do like one nice dinner. And then the rest of the time, it may be street food. It may be if we
go to
have
the store.
yeah, if we have an apartment,
Mhm.
we'll go to the store. So it actually, Aaron, we have a spreadsheet of that we've used I actually think I have it available as a download on the website. I may not have launched that yet, but I will. That'll help you do all that budgeting. But for us, it's just kind of an overall, this is what we think we've got to spend on this trip. And
Yep.
honestly, I usually overestimate. I'm usually more generous. So we usually still have money left.
Which is always good.
Yeah, it's always good. But that's kind of where we are. Everybody's different. I mean, we've obviously got the ability to travel for extended periods of time. And, sometimes we rent apartments, sometimes we use points. So I know that was a very long-winded answer.
But that's in a nutshell for her.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, if you're looking for a daily budget, it's all going to depend on where you're going in Europe and how you want to stay. I mean, there's absolutely no doubt you can do it on a budget. Public transportation in Europe is so much better than in the US.
Yeah.
And there are plenty of hostels over there, and we know plenty of folks who stay in hostels and they're completely fine. Plenty of inexpensive street food.
Yeah.
So,
and the thing about Europe is most of the cities in Europe are so walkable.
yeah.
I mean, you don't even have to worry about transportation.
Yeah. Yeah. And obviously, the further away you get from the tourist area, the less expensive drinks and food and all that becomes. So, and we can maybe do something. I'm actually thinking about maybe doing a live stream of us actually planning a trip. I'm hoping we can plan a trip for 12 weeks starting like the first part of April next year. It would be just the UK. We're going to kind of run on the assumption that we're close to the same kind of restrictions we have today so that we could go to the UK, quarantine for 2 weeks, and then travel around because there's so many areas of the UK we haven't been to and so many areas we have been to that we want to go back to. We feel like that's a big enough country to spend that much time in and see different things. So I know I'm getting, all right. And we got to wrap up here in just a second too.
Hello, Chris.
Hello, Kim. Nice seeing you, Chris. Oh, going to the grocery store. Okay. Well, stock up on, Lysol and and for whatever reason, y'all, and I don't know why this is, but in Nashville, there is a run on coffee filters.
On the bigger coffee filters.
Yeah. All they have is like the little shorties.
On like the 12-cup coffee filters.
And we drink a lot of coffee, and one of our friends drinks coffee, and so we're constantly making pots of coffee in the morning because you can't, just get coffee grounds everywhere there was. I don't know why, but literally, I don't know how many stores they've been to and we've been to, but we can't find coffee filters. So it's kind of interesting. Hey Kim, how are you? I've heard that Wales also is locked down again. So there have been some Wales lockdowns. I think there was some clarification on that. Like it was maybe a little unclear of the definition of only businesses that sold essential items or what essential items were. So I didn't get full clarity on that, which is why we didn't bring it up because I didn't want to just, make up stuff. Not that I've never been known to make up stuff, but I'm planning to travel more with retirement. I'm struggling now how to plan. So Aaron, we are retired. We sold our business, and that's kind of our whole plan was to travel, and we just have a bucket of money and that we've allocated for travel, and that's
we have a bucket of money
that we draw from. So sometimes we may do less expensive places, and sometimes we kind of even it out
a little bit.
Yeah. Hey Blaine, how are you?
Hello,
good to see you this
Blaine.
morning. Oh,
hey
Liz is getting ready for their live, I'm sure, which if you guys don't know, their live starts in about 20 minutes, so make sure and join them over on the Means to Travel channel. She wanted to say that I tend to do daily budgets on 1 to 2 weeks that have a buffer. I can share about that later. Okay, there you go. Love the idea of a live stream, a planning process. Okay, good. I'm glad. Love that porch behind you. Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
There's actually a pool back there too, but I
Yeah.
don't know that you guys
Yeah, I
can
don't know
see
if
it.
y'all can see it.
So we're Liz, just so you know, we're in Nashville, staying at our dear friend's home, and you know, we're just kind of taking over their house right
Yeah.
now. So,
But it is football Sunday, so
it is football Sunday. You guys don't know it, but Trace has a
oh, I do underneath, but I do have my Titans mug going on.
yep. So
And speaking of y'all, this is our Sunday snippet. So
Snippet
check out
Sunday. Yeah. Our gear on our store. If you go to our website, there's a link for the shop. So we have
sweatshirts, shirts, hats,
face masks,
face masks. Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
So check it out. Hey Mark, how are you?
Hey Mark.
How you feeling today after your your cheap champagne morning yesterday? Musings at Midlife said large coffee filters make great snack bowls.
Well,
I
yeah,
guess
we could have snacks if we could find the coffee filters.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Multi-Corker said something about pimento cheese I hadn't heard of. It's not a thing here in Canada, but I Googled it. Some just have sharp cheddar and some have both cheddar and cream, which is better. So interesting. I think it depends on what you like. I mean, and you don't have to use sharp. You can use medium if you don't like it. Some do use cream cheese, some don't use cream cheese and just use mayonnaise. So I think you just have to kind of figure out what flavors you like. Some actually will include like jalapenos in it, which Trace likes, but I don't do spicy. So personally, when I make it, I actually don't use cream cheese. I use mayonnaise. And I usually actually use a mix of like a sharp and maybe like a Colby Jack. And then just the pimentos. So I think it just depends on what you like. Use muslin filters and rinse them out, better for the earth. Very true. Grace, that's a good idea. Let's check into that. Walmart, Tony's saying Walmart French roast in the K-cups is awesome. Try it sometime. You know what, Tony? We personally have we still have it. We just don't use it. We did start feeling bad about the environmental of the K-cups because we drink so much coffee that we actually went back to just a normal coffee machine.
Plus, it's cheaper.
It is cheaper. It is cheaper. And it just, I know that some places do make like the compostable or biodegradable. That wasn't the kind we bought or liked. And so we just, I don't know. We're not that picky. So
yeah.
Our coffee is, we have a little bit of coffee with it. A little bit of coffee with our milk. That's what our coffee looks like.
Yeah.
So, Folgers just saying no filter needed. True. All right, let's see. Tighten up.
That's right. Tighten up.
Tighten up. Blaine, tighten up.
Tighten up.
I think she's saying K-cups are the bane of the trash world. They never break down. You can buy a refillable one. Yeah, we actually did have one of those as well, but we just decided that
it was kind of a pain.
It was. Means of saying, Liz saying,
thank you, thank you.
They're comfy.
Check us out.
Well, I've got one of our Gallivanter. If you guys can see that,
t-shirts.
The definition of a Gallivanter, because you guys are all Gallivanters. When you're in Europe, do you find a way to watch American football? Yes. Kim, we do. We where were we when we
were in Ireland?
Were we in Ireland? We were.
We were in Belfast.
Don't remember.
No, it was before that trip.
Yeah, it was. Where were we?
But I'm thinking we were in Ireland still.
I don't know, but yes. So there are sports bars. We just looked it up. We just Googled it, and we looked it up. But now, we have a VPN and we have, Red Zone. So when we travel now, we can use that and still watch it. We have Red Zone on YouTube TV. So if we connect via the VPN, it looks like we're still in the US and we're able to watch it. So, Not Keeps
K-Cups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we knew what you meant. Make sure you hit the thumbs up.
Yes,
Thanks,
everybody, please hit
Blaine.
the thumbs
Thank
up.
you. Mary Ellen has her K-Cup. Blaine's going to church. All right. Thank you,
Have a
Blaine.
good
See
day.
you later.
Thank you.
I don't know what I'm laughing at. I don't know.
Who knows?
But
We probably
anyway.
said something we don't even know what
We
said.
probably did. But we talked longer than we usually
have.
do.
Plus, everybody's got to get ready for means to travel.
Yeah, everybody's got to go get their coffee refilled and do all those things. Mark's saying it's been a lot easier the last few years. I remember 1990s, I could only get Super Bowl. Now a lot of bars will show a game. Not all games, but I could get one game a week.
Yep.
Yeah, we've in Europe anyway, we have found it. And now, like I said, with the VPN, we're able to
sit in the hotel and watch it if we want to.
If we want to. Yeah.
Sometimes it's nicer though to, especially in the Europe or
Yeah.
other countries when they have American football. I mean, those people, they are diehard fans over there.
You know, I almost think we were in Florence. It was the Red Garter was the name of the bar.
Well, yeah, I bet we were because it was actually around my birthday.
Yeah. So I think it was in Florence we found somewhere. So anyway. Okay. Sorry guys.
Yep.
We're getting distracted here, but thank you guys so much for joining. Yes, please do give us a thumbs up. We really, really appreciate you being here, and we will see everybody, well, hopefully in a few minutes on Alyssa's stream, and then we'll be back Thursday night at 8 Eastern. Thank y'all. See you later. Bye.